Why don't we open the meeting?
Yep.
It's time.
We'll
We'll start with the,
should start with the public
Public
hearing
hearing.
on the grant funds.
all right, so at this time, we'll open a public hearing per RSA 31:95B to accept grant funds from FEMA in the amount of $10,363.19.
And this was for firefighting equipment.
I remember that, actually.
Does that need a second? If so, I second.
Yes, it needs a second.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I assume you're not here to speak on that particular matter?
No, but I'd love to know what that grant was for. Any idea? Gear?
Yep, the fire chief applied for a grant for firefighting equipment to partially outfit the new fire engine that's coming in May.
Yep, gotcha. Great. Cool.
Every little bit helps.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right. What do you think?
You can leave it open for,
A while?
yeah,
in case.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. You want to
And then
sign
you've got to
stuff?
do the public hearing regarding the proposal to set the speed limit on Old Boyce
Oh,
Road.
yeah, okay. All right, so I'll make a motion, we open the public hearing regarding the proposal to set the speed limit to 25 miles an hour on Old Boyce Road, being about 50 yards of the southernmost curve of the road, node 18 on the 2024 New Hampshire DOT node map, the entirety of Riverland Road, the entirety of Oxbow Pond Road, and the entirety of Lois Lane.
I would second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, so that public hearing is open.
I'm here for that.
Oh, good.
Oh,
David Day of 34 Oxbow Pond Road.
okay.
That's convenient.
I got the letter in the mail, and I had just a couple quick questions to better understand. I was wondering what the root conversation starter on this topic was. Anybody have any idea?
Actually, yes. We
Yeah.
had a visit from a young family whose name escapes me, who walk regularly in that area. They live and walk in that area
Understood.
with a couple of small children. Actually, one
One in a carriage.
and a kid, right. So you know,
Sure.
a toddler and a baby, essentially. But their concern is the speed at which traffic is traveling those roads.
Understood.
So that started, sort of started the whole thing. Each of us has driven that road multiple times. I'm also a member of the fire department, so I've responded down there multiple times for several incidents. So we're familiar with that.
Understood.
So the proposal is to reduce the speed to 25 miles, not that first stretch of Old Boyce by the doggy daycare place.
Yeah, kind of from there back.
Correct.
Once
Understood.
you go through those two really sharp
Yeah.
Yep.
curves.
So that's
Understood.
what it's all about.
Worth noting. I just
Yeah.
wanted to be aware
Sure.
because it guides some of my questions to say, you know, I'm not saying I'm for or against it.
Mhm.
Been on the road for 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to share with the town was I have never seen any speed enforcement on that road. Police actively sitting as a enforcement for that area. And I brought to the town, maybe 5-6 years ago, there were 1,000 vehicles, I think, in a 3-month span going to the beach or traveling or traversing that road, which is a highly traveled road in the summertime. And I get the fact that, yeah, there are some people who go quick.
Yeah.
We are walkers with our family and dogs. But I just wanted to explore the town to say, before we throw money and resources at something, how about we leverage what we already have? The police force, to lack of better words, do their job.
Right.
And see
So-
if that makes an impact, because I drive a lot, and I've seen in the last 4 or 5 years, I commute 100 miles a day down to Massachusetts from here, and I've seen a lot of increased speeds due to lack of enforcement since COVID, really. And the state police have acknowledged, lack of staffing and abilities to get that done. I think that's what we might be seeing. And putting a sign up that's 5 miles per hour lower, I mean, in all reality, with you 5 sitting there, do you expect that to make a difference for 80% of the people who are probably breaking that speed limit are from out of town, going to the beach, or going to work, or doing something on that road that isn't a resident? Is that going to make a difference? Because I certainly don't think it will.
Yeah.
So I explore the idea for you guys to take a little bit of time and talk with the police department and find out what their history is, because I doubt there's been a ticket issue for speeding. I don't think there's ever been an enforcing a practice of sitting a vehicle with a radar gun. And I think presence and enforcement would deter hugely than just a sign that says 5 miles per hour less. And so my input is I could probably be for it if there was more fact to go behind it to say what's really being done. Because if you have these rules and nobody's enforcing it, what value does it bring? And if you make the change, it's still not going to be enforced. So I just throw it at you guys to say, can we use the resources we have for research and find out if we can try that first?
Yeah, we have very little resources.
Yeah.
And multiple complaints of speeding in the other place where we're getting a lot of complaints is Old Gilmanton Road, which is about as far away from here as you can get to Sylvia and Canterbury.
Gotcha.
Up in Sherwood Forest.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So it's, and we have one officer on.
Yeah.
We have one vacancy for a full-time officer that has been open for a year, I believe. So they're themed. So they did do a speed survey there about 2 months ago.
Yeah, I remember seeing the post, thing on the post, not recent. Yeah, not recent.
So you would not have noticed it because this was literally a black box.
A black box that was on the telephone pole right by the dog park.
There you go.
I'm
So
aware.
you did notice it.
I did, yes.
Yeah. So I think the highest speed, if I remember, was 52. But in general, I think the speeds were much lower than
52 is like one car.
Yeah.
Yeah, understandable, sure.
Yeah.
That one guy.
Yeah, the outlier.
Yeah.
But I understand the town's resources are low, but for what it's worth, I do have security cameras, and some of you may know that I worked with the police to try and help the beach area and keep the junk out of that area of town.
Yeah.
So I have some cameras and visibility to neighboring cameras we've shared through technology. And around COVID, 1920, we would see the police out there just doing their drive-bys, patrolling regularly, 40 to 50 times in a year. Just going out, coming to the end of the road, turn around and leave. That's a nice patrol, just to have the presence.
Exactly.
The last 3 or 4 years, you can count on one hand per year how many times we've seen them out there.
Yeah.
Aside from a call, I have put a call in or two, they've shown up, that taken out, it's a neglected part of town now. Where it used to just be part of the nightly patrol or daily patrol. I'm gonna go out to the gas station, I'll go get a candy bar, I'm gonna hop over the bridge, or not over towards the bridge and go over to this part of town.
Yeah.
Because it is separated from town via Route 4, and it's not directly connected. So I just share with you guys the visibility that we see in the neighborhood. There's not as much police presence happening.
Okay.
And that could be done more regularly to help curb that. The visuals that come from that.
Yeah, we'll certainly share that with the police chief.
Yeah.
And the traffic count the day we did the survey, was it a day only or?
No, it was a week.
Yeah, I think it was just a week.
5 days.
Average was 1,300?
No, it was 1,300 total.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 1,300 vehicles total. And, a month ago, I can't remember what the temperature would have been.
No, it wasn't that active for the beach.
Yeah.
I just remember I had let the town know because the road was so bad, it was not getting managed, and I had seen the numbers. It was like 1,000 in a week. It was a crazy amount, but history. But I just wanted to share my thoughts, observations, in that, living at the end of the road with family, similar feeling, but I just don't feel like throwing a speed limit sign is going to solve any problems.
Yeah.
So, wanted to bring some ideas and just share with you guys.
Have you had yourself had an issue with the speed on that road recently?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I commute in the morning, back in the afternoon, like around now, and the weekends running errands, but no.
No, the box per se didn't really notice that there was a problem with speeding. And it seemed like part of the problem was walkers feel like the cars are going faster. So we checked to make sure.
Absolutely. I would say that is a valid observation. Off the dirt road, the dirt is at the end. The first 2 sections of paved area, I would say, yeah, I could say I feel like the road is a foot narrower than most roads. When you have 2 cars coming at each other, it just feels tighter than most roads. And you also have some significant business traffic. You've got larger vehicles that could be going on, whether they be a pickup truck, box truck. You have a gentleman there that does a lot of work with trailer trucks. And so you've got the landscaper with the bigger vehicles. They're not just little 4-door sedans. And I think that presents it. But then those corners, those 2 corners are brutal. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know, they're blind, and when you're going the speed limit of 30 right now, you run a risk. It's pretty tight. Most vehicles are not on their side cutting those corners. So that raises the risk too. And then throw a walker or a person walking an animal or a stroller. I'm surprised nobody's been hurt yet. I mean, it's...
But I think that's the other thing we've talked about is signage for the corners.
For the two corners, the
Yeah.
chevrons, the signs slow that in both directions.
Yeah.
For that very reason, because those are, when I went down and drove, they're sharp corners.
Yeah,
Going
absolutely.
into a shadow, so.
Yep. And the other, I mean, the one caveat, maybe not this conversation, but there's that house on the corner of the first corner. They've added a mobile home, and they're using a driveway that's not zoned, that's right on the corner. And it's, there's a pickup truck and another smaller vehicle that are living in the mobile home adjacent, and I've almost hit them twice. They're just backing in and out, and they're in the corner. And something's bound to happen at some point, I think, with that one too, because of this, if there are people not attentive to the road and speed.
Is the driveway new?
It's not a driveway, they're driving into the grass.
Oh.
They've added a mobile home, I think, for family members to assist their care in the family, but they're just parking vehicles next to the mobile home, which is not a zoned driveway or an addition. It's just been parked there.
Yeah.
It's been there for a year or two.
Okay.
And I'm not looking to have problems, but
No,
they
understood.
could
Yeah.
move their vehicles to the driveway instead of this grassy corner, which is a blind, kind of treacherous corner.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but for what it's worth, I don't know if I support or I don't, but I would love to know if the police could do more. You know, it's already a paid resource that we have.
Yep.
So,
It is. All right. Thank you.
sorry to take so much time, but
No,
we'll
no,
share.
No,
Good
thank you.
conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why we have public hearings.
Yep, great.
So, thank you.
Welcome.
All right, Ken, do you want us to sign?
Start signing.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking before too much more time goes by. All right, first item I have is a accounts payable manifest in the amount
Good to see you,
of
Bob. All 3 minutes each time.
$540,842.94.
I don't know about that 94 cents.
Could I get a second?
Yes, so I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next item is a payroll manifest in the amount of $52,888.48.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And signing. Anyone?
Yeah,
Oh, I
the
forgot
s-
the stamp.
Yeah, the stamp isn't on there.
Oh,
Can we just sort of,
just
yeah,
free.
Oh, free reign signing.
that there.
You can write
You
big.
can write big now.
Oh, I love
I've
it.
always wanted to
Oh,
stamp.
I'm gonna write so big.
I noticed that the other day and I forgot to sign.
That was fun.
Free range back.
Yeah.
Look out.
I'm tired and I got a pen. Watch out.
Yeah, she does. Oh, boy. All right, next
Oh,
is
jeez.
interfund transfer from the City Bank operating account to the Elkins,
To Lucia Elkins.
yeah,
Sick and poor.
in the amount of $25. Okay,
I will second that.
all those in favor?
Aye. So, why is the language return it to the trust?
Because earlier in the year for a welfare case, you took out a certain amount from that trust for burial of someone. But then that extra $25 didn't end up being spent. So to clean things up, we're putting it back in the trust.
Okay.
All right, next item is a application for property tax credits from a veteran. It looks like we did receive a DD 214. It is for tax map 259 lot 15. And the amount is $500. Do we need a motion or we just sign it? We just sign it. Thank you. I've had days like yours.
I know. This looks like a well-loved form.
Exactly.
It's got coffee on it, so it's good, you know it's good.
Work? Oh, not for you, sorry. Okay.
And is this the same? It looks like. Tell if it's. Or is it different? Nope, it's gotta be different.
Okay. This all tax credit?
Yeah. That's what I'm a little confused. It looks like the.
Oh, that was supposed to be paper put together.
Oh, okay, that explains it. Okay, so we need to sign in two places.
Yes.
Okay,
All of the trail of the blue posties.
yeah. Is that one? And then I'll attach the other part of the application.
Was that in the? Can you see that for a second?
Sure.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right. Is this a timber? Yeah, timber tax. For lot 229, excuse me, map 229, lot 1 and lot 001-1 and lot 229-02. The first one is in the amount of $2,811.29. Second is in the amount of $421.77. And once again, with these, we're just signing. Three places.
Alrighty. Does that mean they're done now? Haven't seen any logging trucks coming down in a couple of days.
Oh. Certainly could.
Yeah.
I think the other one's just getting cleaned up.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, we've still got a few minutes, so why don't we look next at the minutes, yeah, from the October 20th, 2025 public part. I'm just gonna look at myself, because I've got them in now.
There was only one, suggested edit, so I didn't print out copies for you guys.
Understood.
On line 312, under the Conservation Commission report, it said they will be consulting with local hunters on safety zone signage. That went up to see how effective it has been. And the correction is that went up to get their opinions on whether signage like this is effective. So that's it.
All right, so I'll move the minutes as amended.
You were polled,
No, but I mean, I wasn't here for that, so I'm not.
but you were polled, and you were polled.
Second?
Oh, yes, second.
All those in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Anybody wish to abstain?
No.
I'm abstaining, because I wasn't here.
All right.
Sorry. As I said, kick me if I don't.
I will not. All right, where do you want to go from here, sir?
They need to close the hearings.
Yeah, we need to close the two hearings.
All right, anybody here about the public hearing on RSA 3195B? Seeing none, I'll close that hearing. Do we need a motion to close?
Yep.
Motion to close the meeting.
I will second that.
No, you gotta vote to approve the acceptance.
Oh, yes, we do.
And then you can close it.
Then we can close it. All right, so I will make a motion that we accept the grant funds from FEMA in the amount of $10,363.19.
Yes, please, I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And then I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
I will second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all right, that public
Oh,
hearing
very
is
good,
closed.
second, 10,000.
I suppose it depends on if there's anything attached to it.
Okay.
All right. All right, so the public hearing regarding the proposal to set the speed limit to 25 on Old Boyce Road. I guess what did the selectmen think?
I still think it's a good idea, especially if we're going to follow it up with the signage that we already discussed. It's, even though the speeding isn't a problem from what we've seen, those corners need to be better marked. And it should be 25, so.
In agreement?
Yep.
Okay. Anybody want to make a motion?
I will motion that we set the speed, do we have to motion to set it? Correct. Make a motion to set the speed limit to 25 miles per hour on Old Boyce Road, beginning 50 yards south of the southernmost curve in the road, node 18 on the 2024 NHDOT node map, the entirety of Riverland Road, the entirety of Oxbow Pond Road, and the entirety of Lois Lane. That is my motion.
All right, I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, that was very exciting.
Are they gonna put the chevrons out when they post that to 25? So they'll put all at the same time?
Yeah.
And they're not painting the road, they're just putting the yellow. Okay.
Also, hold on. Now do we need to close that public hearing?
Yes, we do.
All right, so I will make a motion that the public hearing regarding the proposal to set the speed limit to 25 on Old Boyce Road be closed.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that hearing is closed. We still got about 5 minutes. Anything you see that we can,
Another new business applying for local emergency operation plan update grant.
Yep.
I met with the fire chief today, we have the application. I'm waiting for a form from the Homeland Security, and we'll be working on that next week.
Okay.
Let's see. Streetlights.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know if I forwarded you that email from you until.
You did.
There's 4 streetlights, but they will switch over to LEDs at no charge. They do need a police officer for a detail on
No.
Center Road and Southwest Road. I asked where the streetlights were. So there's one on Southwest Road, approximately 150 feet south of the intersection of Kimball Pond Road.
Yep.
Right across from the old Howell residence.
Yep.
There's one on Center Road, right over by the cemetery. There's one on Payable Road in front of the town office. And there's one on Old Tilton Road, which is actually right at the corner of Center Road. Right there, Old Tilton Road comes out. And then there's one on West Road, right at the north, 93 north, on and off ramp, right at the base of those. There's the one at the southbound, but there's one on the northbound. So,
So you,
again, it's-
Unitil didn't weigh in on the necessity of those, right? That was in,
this is just the energy committee or somebody that talked to them
right,
about
right.
changing these over to LEDs, and they said they were doing it at no cost.
Because there was another person who was going to be polled about those, that was going to weigh in at the necessity, how many we have and the necessity of them. Because I'm just
That's up
curious.
to you guys.
Yeah. I thought they were going to weigh in on like, why is there
What was
one?
that?
Well, that's just it. It was one of the, I believe it was the people that Ruth, and Beth met at a conference that was going to be doing another.
The only correspondence I received was from Unitil.
Oh, all right. Well. So,
I received the original correspondence from the energy committee, but then I
Right.
didn't receive anything else except from Unitil.
well, if they're still willing to swap them over, that's still gonna save us something. Does it give an estimate on how much it'll save?
They're gonna be nuclear bright too, if they're going LEDs.
So what do we need to do? We need to approve that? I'm just curious because one of the conversations we had was finding out how many we had, but if they're necessary. Like a number of people said, why is that one?
I guess the necessity is up to you guys.
Oh.
Well, I guess.
I didn't know if there was a,
There's no,
like DOT says you have to have a street light at this
Not
kind
that-
of intersection or
not that I
whatever.
know of.
Oh, all right.
Ken?
Do they charge us per piece or per night, or how does it work on payment on those?
I think there's
You mean for the utility bill?
Yeah,
We get one utility bill for outside street lighting.
Yeah.
That's it. Doesn't designate separate ones.
I mean, it's gonna save them money to switch over from whatever's
Yeah.
in there now to LED.
Absolutely.
But even more if we have a pole that we don't need, but
Mm.
might as well, if they're willing to do it for free, and we can discuss the rest of it later.
Yeah. I guess, in the center of town, I think, and Randy, I remember a conversation you and I had about lighting children and buses and all that. But I guess I'm questioning why on 132 by Joe and Tony's old house, and why, as you said, in one direction at the exit 18 and not the other, which is, that part I'm just not getting.
That sounds like something for further,
Well, because if you're driving like most people and you blink, you miss that corner, there's no light to tell you to take a right or a left. Most people fly by there, and if you don't know that corner's coming up, I think with no overhead light, you might.
because on any road that you're driving, any right-hand turn you're right, you could say the same thing.
Yeah,
So,
I just
like,
think with those roads, they're only at those
at the
corners.
beginning,
Yeah.
I mean, 93 north, if you're not paying attention, that ramp sneaks up on you, especially when the gas station closed.
Bob, do you have any?
I was gonna say, we have some members in the
Yeah.
audience that have been around for a while.
I don't remember how or why those lights were originated, but I would challenge why the town would pay for street lighting on a DOT road.
Yeah.
I don't believe the town should be paying for that.
Yeah.
And,
Well, that-
but in the center, yes, I get it. The only cautionary tale is warn the homeowners if these lights change, because suddenly it's as bright as the day
yeah,
underneath the light. It's a more attractive color than the old yellowy stuff, but it definitely does change
It's a different,
the
much
the
different.
aesthetic, so you just let people know. I would certainly switch over the ones here in the center, because I do think the ones in the center serve a necessary purpose.
Yeah.
But
Agreed.
the ones on the DOT roads, I would question why the town's paying for those.
but who do you question? Who that might actually
Unitil.
answer
Well,
you.
here's,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's Unitil. How come the state's not paying for that?
right.
But are you against having a light there?
It just seems, it's
It
odd.
just seems sort of oddly random.
Yeah. I mean, really, outside of the center of town, we have literally 2 streetlights. Why there? I guess it's
We should find out why.
I've been riding around.
Somebody brought it up.
Trying to figure it out.
Maybe it was some little kids there then at the time, huh?
Maybe, that's as good an explanation as any. I mean, school kids, as you and I talked about.
Yeah, you would have to ask where the school bus stop might be.
Yeah.
Although they tend to go driveway to driveway these days. But,
Right.
if there was a long time ago, if there was a school bus stop and, dark in the morning, there
Yeah.
might have been a street light above it. But
Yeah.
it's been a long time since there
Certainly
was
not now,
been
though.
a long time since there was a school bus stop across from Joe and Tony's old house.
Do you have a number for, Unitil? I'll be happy to call them and see if anybody has any
I've
information.
been in contact via email with the person that's in charge of this, so I can talk to them
Yeah, just,
and confirm that we can do the ones in the center, but
Yeah.
hold off on the ones on the DOT road
Yeah.
to get more information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it's like-
that'd be great, thank you.
All right,
Yeah, I was gonna take that off your list and you put it right back on yours, thank you.
Anything further on streetlights at this point?
Oh, but speaking of lights, there is a light bulb out in the town hall. Up in the ceiling.
Okay.
Who do I tell? You? Then, it is the one by the front door, on the old Tilton Road side.
Okay, take care of it.
Thank you.
All right, why don't we move on? It looks like we've got at least some of the budget committee here, and I know everyone's time is valuable, so why don't we start that discussion? Why don't if we can, I think we can, most if not all of you.
Bob, did you talk with Kelly? Did Kelly come? All right.
Oh, I thought mine.
Oh,
Cancel
yeah.
that.
Oh, all right.
did?
Yeah.
They told me. I thought I would.
Just wanted to make sure the budget committee was able
That
to
was the
get their
last we
copies
heard.
first before I hand out the extras.
I'll let her know. Just letting Kelly know just in case. In space.
She's at the planning board buttons.
Bob said
No,
he
they canceled it.
I understand you.
I'm betting, there's Kelly.
There you go.
Hey Kelly, the budget part of the meeting is about to start.
Yep.
This is the record, I'll stop when he's here. Not yet.
Okay, Bob is here.
Yeah, here I am. Robert?
Alright. We got all of this on so far.
Yes.
2026 budget, I don't know. So it's different from what we just did out.
This-
Slightly. No, not the.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, very good.
We're gonna start, we're gonna try and focus for most of the discussion on the Aries report, but we're gonna start with some other budgetary items. One is healthcare. I think everybody knows that the healthcare company we had signed on with for 2025, we were notified in May that they were going out of business in June, so we had to go to a different healthcare company called School Care. They had their annual meeting today. Cal and I attended. Their rates are not out yet. They will be out November 10th, is what they're shooting for. They are looking at an increase anywhere between 8 and 35%, depending on experience and size of the unit. So again, they're hoping to get those rates out here in the next couple of days. We did meet with the Health Trust. We had been with the Health Trust for quite a few years before. We went over to NHIT. They are allowing, they have a 2-year lockout, but they have waived that for people that were within HIT that went out, when they went out of business, so. We met with them. Their rates, compared to the school care rates that we had, for the remainder of 25, are approximately 13% higher on the zero deductible, and they're about 15% higher on the high deductible plan that is eligible for HSA. So that's kind of a real quick on healthcare. We're waiting to hear back from, again, school care and another company called CGI. So hopefully at our next meeting we can have some better numbers on healthcare. But whatever they are, they will be up from last year. The CIP. You guys all have the planning board, central area for planning, and the town office staff have been working on a CIP that is well overdue. We finally more or less ironed one out. I'm not going to go through it line by line, but I just want to go over some potential capital projects in 2026. One's the highway department with a slide-in water tank of $18,000. We have cap reserve money in the highway department cap reserve equipment line for that. They do need to get a new highway truck. I think anybody who's been watching our budget, our repair bills have gone way up. They'd like to replace the T1, which is a 2011 International. The price is right around $250,000. If we order it in March or April like we have in the past, we probably won't see it until January of 27. So we're looking at using $125,000 from the truck capital reserve account, and then use some money from the equipment cap reserve account, and then potentially tax dollars. So.
You want questions, Ken, or
Sure.
finish?
Sure, on that, on these, well, let me run down through these real quick, and then we'll take some questions. We have, on here, I have highway waste oil burner for $20,000. We've been fortunate enough to be getting rid of our used waste oil up at the transfer station to a local repair shop, car repair shop. Then they said that they didn't want any more. We found another local person that would take it. And then he said he didn't want it anymore. So we were able to go back, and the repair shop said that they would take it. But we don't have a contract with anybody. The concern is that at some point, we're not going to have anybody take it. And the cost of it, of getting rid of it, through Clean Harbors or one of the waste companies is very exorbitant. So the thought was that we could install a waste oil burner up at the highway garage, at the municipal building, out in the bay area. That is the area where the doors open and close a lot in the winter time, and we'll probably see the most benefit from it. Again, this is, we don't have any money set aside for it. It's $20,000. And like I say, this is potential. I'm trying to give you guys kind of a heads up, and then we'll meet again in December and try and iron out the real meat of the budgets. We don't have the operating budgets yet, so we're not sure where that's going to go. There's still a lot of questions out there now, but I wanted to put this on the horizon for everybody. The fire department, they need to replace Rescue 1. It's got rust issues with the frame and body, cab, things like that. The fire chief, with the new fire truck coming, they are going to move all the heavy rescue equipment to the new fire engine. So the rescue truck will not be needed for that. The rescue truck will more or less answer medical emergency calls and other calls similar to that. So his thought would be to move the 2021 Ford F-250 command car to the Rescue 1 spot and purchase a new command car. He actually puts on more miles on that car, so he thought that that would be a better use. And there's there's more than enough money in the rescue truck fund. The balance at 9/30/25 was 178,000. So there's plenty of money to buy a new pickup truck basically and outfit it and make that move. And then the police department would like to buy a cruiser for $67,000. And that is to replace a 7 or 8 year old cruiser. So those are the potentials. I think in the paper that I sent out, that we sent out via email, said that here's some balances in the cap reserve accounts. Again, the highway equipment, we have 115,000. The highway truck, we have 129,000. The loader, we have 188,000. Rescue truck, 178. Firefighting equipment, we have 42,000. And building maintenance line, we have 16,000. So just some balances. We do our last bond payment for the bridge, van car, and cruisers is in 2026. It's $52,500. That's the last payment. We will be bonding the remainder of the fire truck cost. It's $490,000. The estimated costs are around $50,000 a year for 10 years. So that we're in a very good financial picture right now with our long-term debt. So questions?
Well, no, our work here is done.
Well, that was easy.
Actually, I would say that the CIP is a lot more reasonable than CIPs that have been submitted in the past. So I would congratulate the planning board and our office team on having it be realistic. And for those of you who don't remember the history, it used to be the candy gram, right? Just had the grab bag of everything that everybody might ever want someday, because if they didn't put it in, you know, it didn't get there, and it was crazy. So this looks pretty reasonable. Quick questions on some of the highway stuff. The water tank makes sense. The waste oil burner, the last time we talked about that, Ken, we were having a challenge figuring out how to transport the oil from the transfer station to the municipal building. How much could you carry? How do you move it and carry it? And then, heaven forbid, we spilled some of it. We just killed the cost of cleaning up something that might spill on the trip.
But it says it's for the transfer station, not for the municipal station.
It would be the waste oil burner itself would be located at the municipal building.
But the oil is coming from the transfer station.
Oil will be coming to the transfer station.
So I don't know, has there been new thinking about how to?
So the proposal was they have, I don't know, you've been up the transfer station. I don't know if you've seen the big metal cages, the rectangular metal cages with the plastic bin in it.
Yeah.
But they get those for free. And you can get one of those and get a electric transfer pump, transfer it over. They would put one of those in the back of one of the F-550s, drive it up to the highway garage, and then transfer it over into a tank up there. Is there risk? Yeah, there is. Yeah, and you know, so that was one of the thoughts. The other thought was that we put a waste oil burner at the transfer station itself, but it really isn't set up for that. Where would you use it? So
You'd just be incinerating the oil for no benefit.
Right.
So,
Well, we still don't, have we cleared up the issue about what happens if it's contaminated, and
yeah, and
how do we figure that out, and what happens if it is?
and there are no easy ways of determining whether it's contaminated with antifreeze or something like that. I spoke with the vendor. The the proposal that they gave us, there is a filter, a pre-filter, or 2 pre-filters and then a filter. And they're confident that it would filter out any kind of contaminants that might occur in that. And they're UL approved, they're EPA approved, so, yeah.
On the truck, how many crew did we have and how many trucks did we plow with last year and the year before? Maybe we just put down truck.
So, today,
Interesting question.
we have 2 highway department employees. As of Thursday, we will have 1. However, I interviewed one today, and it seemed pretty promising. There are five plow routes. We have 5, well, including the F-550s, we have 5 vehicles. We have had seasonal drivers the past couple of years to assist with the full-time drivers. We're in discussion with a couple of seasonal people right now. So we're hopeful that we will have a full crew to staff all 5 vehicles to plow this winter. Hopeful.
But we plowed last year with 4.
No, the 5.
We did.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just asking John to say, okay, what does the world look like
Yeah.
if you plow with 4? Because a lot of times, if you lose somebody, then that truck's just gonna sit idle.
It is doable. And he said, we do what we can, and it's just that's, the optimum is 5, and that's what we're trying to do.
They'll just leave off Hackleboro. Oh, don't worry about it.
I like driving on Uber services. It's fun. All right. The fire department stuff makes total sense. Thank you, Fire Chief, for not coming up with something that's not a $250,000 rescue truck.
Yeah.
Marvelous. And we have the money for it. And then as far as the police car goes, boy, I can remember the fight we had when we wanted to add the second police car. I don't know, Bob, do you remember that?
Yes. Wasn't it? It wasn't street.
No. And now we have 4.
Yeah, and part of the reason for that is that recruitment and retention has been difficult. We've had a vacancy for a police officer for over a year, and part of the package that we're offering is a take-home cruiser for anybody that lives within 30 miles of the town. So, and that's
What if we
that
had,
is
what if
the-
we had 3 police cruisers and we gave them a Honda Civic to commute in?
And that is, well, I will say that is the norm of all surrounding municipalities. All the towns around are offering a take-home cruiser now, pretty much.
No, I understand.
And for a few years, we were doing leases instead of new cruisers, right? So it's,
We did.
the money's split, and it's better to buy than to lease now.
Yeah,
They were finance leases to a 0 residual,
Yeah.
so that at the end we owned it, so it's just a fancy way of what we did on the bond issue was that then this, because the second tranche rolled into a bond. That's the bond that's paid off
right.
next year.
And they had planned on replacing them in 5 years, and it's 7 years now. So they actually got more life out of them than they expected.
So the 2 that we're still, or it looks like we have 2 payments still on a bond that included cruisers. Which cruisers were those?
No,
It says Bridge Command Car
yes,
Cruisers.
there's 1 payment left on that. That's in 26.
Okay. So is that for one of these 4 cruisers? Or do we have more cruisers?
That is for 2 of the cruisers that we have right now that are 7 years old, those are 4 years old. So those will be paid off.
You would have wanted unit 2.
So we have 6 cruisers?
We have 5.
No.
4 cruisers and not a Chiefs car.
Right, the chief's car, yeah.
Okay, so they're the 2021 cruisers that these are for.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, these are the 2021 cruisers.
Okay.
And again, there's a delay on when you order them. You're gonna wait six months to 9 months to get them, and then you have to equip them and all that. So it's not like going down to the lot and picking one out and saying, that's what I want, and 2 weeks later you're driving.
Not quite as bad as getting a fire truck, but.
Not as bad as a fire truck.
We used to go down to the lot and pick them out, and they fell apart within 2 years.
Right.
It was not a good call.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, oh yeah. How are we doing on fuel? For those?
As far as usage on the
Yeah, just,
so 2 of them are hybrids,
right,
and we have recognized the savings with them.
yeah, cause you've only spent half the budget.
Yeah.
Through.
Well, again, we've had a vacancy, so that's, that helps with that, but yes, the fuel costs are down.
I just have a question about the structure of the sheet. Is it filtered? Because the math on the anticipated cost is not. So like an example is fire and rescue, it says it's 1.73 million, but that's only 590,000.
I will say that Central Hampshire Planning gave us this.
Okay.
Some of the, it's an Excel spreadsheet, and some of the cells didn't, for whatever reason, they weren't working right. So, we tried to get it fixed. I'm not sure. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to really go through with a fine tooth comb.
I can tell you what the fire one is. They're not showing the cap reserve that we spent on the fire truck.
Oh, okay.
That's probably
what it is.
We put cash on it. Randy's looking at the subtotal of 1.73 million under anticipated cost, but if you see the 2 numbers above, they're add up. So they're missing half the fire truck.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'll do it.
What's the difference on the highway department?
That's a good question.
That's why I asked if it was like
Yeah.
filtered, and it was not showing. The math wasn't math.
Yeah, that's what, okay.
Or is it projected operating cost of the department potentially? No?
Not on these. This is a state. This is a RSA regulated
Yes.
function, not the spreadsheet.
Right.
What does and doesn't go in.
Right. All right. Well, I apologize. We've been kind of busy. I haven't had a chance to really go through this with a fine tooth comb. So we will get the numbers corrected and send it out to you guys.
Was this part of what you wanted the formulas for, because you had issues seeing why the math
Yes.
wasn't mapping either?
No.
When you see where you land on, when you see where we land for the budgets going forward, have a look at what they're proposing for the fire engine CRF, because there's no way that's buying you a fire engine.
No, that's what that was one of the things we talked about was, and I think, we wanted to talk about a little bit tonight was, what should we start putting away on some of these, because the engine that we're buying now that costs $850,000 today it's
Between 1.2 and 1.3 million with a 5-year delivery.
and the contract has a clause in it that allows them to increase the cost of it if this cost increases that they have no control over. The manufacturer has no control over.
So no price guarantee.
So there's no price guarantee.
The only sort of light at the end of the tunnel is there is a federal investigation that has started about price fixing. And what's happened is the apparatus companies have been bought by equity firms. So they've gone from, several different manufacturers to choose from to a handful. It's just gotten very, very difficult. I mean, I think it's been difficult enough to buy the fire engine that we haven't even seen. That's been years in the making. So,
If it's truly gonna take 5 years when we order the next one, should we be buying it now? Is it time?
Funny you should ask.
I don't think so yet, Kelly. The 2015, right, Bob? Right,
Yeah.
2015, seems to be doing fine. But it's certainly something we have to think about, and that was why I think we're all in agreement that we need to look at the amount that we're putting away, because it's just,
Well, didn't Chief Gamache himself say, don't put it, he had a plan for what year we should probably
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
putting away for it, and at the moment we're listing it as starting to save for it next year, but I thought he was further out.
no, I don't
If
believe
you look at
so.
the capital reserve deposits, it looks like, it starts in
2026.
2026, 60,000.
Which isn't gonna be enough.
No,
No, that's probably where you want to be if you want to, because we wanted to, you were thinking cash half, bond half.
Mm-hmm. Yep, right.
Because, I mean, the nice part is that the bond is 10 years, right? You can still bond it for 10 years.
That's it. Yeah, exactly what we're doing with the fire engine that's coming.
So,
One more thing while we're on vehicles, the loader that's up at the transfer station, it needs a new center bearing, rear brakes, a bunch of work, for about $15,000. John feels that would be the way to go, and that would extend the life of it for at least another 2 years. So, I think, and if you look at the CIP, it's planned out in 27, I think, or 28 to look at potentially.
27.
So,
Yeah, 2027.
I fix it. We don't put that many hours on it. It's not like it's working at construction
Right.
site. It just loads salt
Yeah.
trucks.
so.
Yeah, I fix it. Didn't we do a center pivot bearing on it?
Yep.
10 years ago?
About 10 years ago, yes. Yep.
you would remember things like that.
Well,
That's a
pretty
big
good
one.
item. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've had the argument about buying a new loader.
Yeah.
Time and time again.
A lot of times.
I think that's about it on capital costs. Let's see. While the budget committee is here, I got an email from the company that provides the town with fireworks. 4th of July is on a Saturday this year. If we want fireworks on that weekend, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, the cost will be $25,000.
As opposed to like 5,
As opposed to around 10,000
10.
if we do it on either the week before or the week after.
That sounds like a plan.
It'll be 10th of
What was it
July.
last year?
10,000.
25?
25, because it's on a Saturday. This guy, he's pretty open with me, and he said, I'm sorry. He said, if you do it on a Saturday on 4th of July, he says, I am spread so thin that I have to charge to pay my people. So,
Why don't we post the time and date of Concord's fireworks display on our town website and save the money?
There you go.
So we have lots of places we could use that 15 grand.
yeah, that's, my reply was, my guess is that the selectmen of the budget committee will opt for an off weekend, if at all.
Maybe when the 4th is actually on the Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, we don't have a Canterbury work
Maybe not.
fireworks.
Maybe
We
not.
do it when it's Monday,
Like, do
Tuesday,
it on a-
Wednesday, Thursday. And,
That move the country.
Yeah.
I think that, it's not like it's an environmentally benign activity. And there's a lot of it up and down the valley, and other opportunities. I don't feel compelled to have Canterbury fireworks. I think there's opportunities for.
Yeah, but are you
kids to
saying
get out
no
and see
fireworks at all, or just not fireworks on the 4th? Because when will the recreation committee be doing anything? On the 4th?
So the recreation committee doesn't do it, it's the Fockers.
Friends and-
Oh, friends, okay, so whoever.
They would align with whatever.
Since you know both.
I do
What
know,
will the Friends of Canterbury Center be doing?
they would align with whatever the town wants to do. So if you wanted to go the weekend before or after, we would plan our event for that.
There are several towns around that don't have fireworks on the 4th. They may have an Old Home Day, and they'll have fireworks at the Old Home Day in August or something like that, but.
I've been in the Grinchy no fireworks mode for a long time, sorry.
I'm the opposite. I like the fireworks. As somebody with kids, it's really nice to drive 5 minutes down there.
Yeah.
You're not trying to park at Memorial Field and elbow your way in 2 miles to go park and get out. It's more family friendly here. Do I like $25,000? No. But I think a lot of people would push back if there was no fireworks in that time frame.
You could go visit Chance, because on the top of that hill on the right night, you can see 6 or 7 fireworks.
Yeah.
Just like
Well, I
all
can
the way
watch
down
them off
the
my
valley.
back deck, all everywhere. Yeah. No, I just think that for the spirit of it's the 4th of July. You know, I think it would greatly affect the Friends of the Canterbury Center. There'd be less turnout. I mean, last year we had tons of people that didn't even live in town. It was really good for I think a lot, not just.
But you could still have a good event, just not on that day, and $15,000 is nothing to sneeze at, and a lot of people would complain about that.
I'm a big fan of
Yeah,
doing things on non-student weekends.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
I think that's fine.
I'd say do it on the non-$25,000 day.
Yeah, let's do that. To be determined.
Okay.
Like, we're gonna get better bands for cheaper costs.
Yes.
Like, everything
Good point.
becomes more affordable.
Yeah,
because-
yeah.
On July 21st.
Within reason.
Probably be a drought, nobody would be allowed to set them up
Saint
anyway.
Swithin's Day. Well, that
All
was
right,
nice they gave you a heads up, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's more or less it, so we can get into the Aries report. So, we've had some updates on the Aries report. Some of the numbers weren't exactly right. I talked with George Holt at Aries last week. There was a mistake on one of the spreadsheets. So, just as I prepared this summary that you guys should all have.
I have 2 copies of the summary and
So, Kelly, are those the ones that you were emailed or you picked up tonight?
Callahan.
Okay.
I accidentally gave you all the extras of things I had.
So there's 2 to share in this.
same as with the email, right?
No, no, the email one was
Oh,
free,
Sure. Yeah.
free conversation?
yeah.
The one in the tiny type is the one we're looking at.
So,
Oh,
the table, if you're looking at the table 1, cost option analysis, the one that was printed tonight, if you look at option 4 and option 6, they're the same. So that was a mistake on that. I don't know why those got printed out. So there's really only 7 options. And I'll run down through just a summary of the options. We can do nothing. We can purchase a new packer. The cost of a new packer, he lists $405,000. I looked online at Equipment Trader and found what the size that we were looking at, around $275,000. I mean, $215,000, I'm sorry. A used one in 2021 used that I found in good condition was $139,000. So if we bought new Packer trucks, a new Packer truck or a used Packer truck, those are what the rate is today.
Okay.
Option 2, install a standalone compactor for $275,000. And we would need to build a canopy and a shelter for the operator.
So 418 is incorrect, correct? What we got emailed
Correct.
says
Correct.
418.
The one I emailed you guys is wrong.
Okay, good.
This is the correct one tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Install rear feed compactor where the Packer truck is currently parked, $356,300, because you would need to raise the floor, and do some concrete work there. Option 4 was subcontract all operations at the current transfer station. There were no bids on that.
Never have been.
We did talk to Casella, I think when I first started in 2014, and it was twice as much as what we paid now, so, or what we were paying at the time.
So the documentation that was emailed said they only went to Casella and Wim. How come they didn't do like a shaver that already services Canterbury?
We hired Aries to do this, and this is who they contacted. I don't know.
They went for the big boys.
Yeah.
Because they need to staff it, and there are very few companies that will operate a municipal transfer station, that's not this size. Concord's are bigger. So I don't know why they wouldn't talk. If there's a local player, that'd be great, but that was never a cost-effective option just because we're so small.
Option 5 was purchase new property and construct a new transfer station, which carries a price tag of $1.3 million. Option 6 is curbside pickup of household trash and recyclables, and that's $269,000. That is the cost of the pickup. There's still the cost of disposal, and that's $108,000 a year, $108,700.
I'm sorry, that was the one that I had thought of shaver, not the
Oh,
one
okay.
to pay people to do it.
Yeah.
That one, and just cross that off. When we have 990 houses and 47 square miles of town, over 80 miles of road.
Right.
Can you imagine what the town might look like if people put plastic bags of garbage down the road and let all the critters feast? And then honestly, by the time you drive all the way to the bottom of most of our driveways, you might as well just keep driving.
Same thing, option 7, curbside pickup of waste only, it's $195,000, and then recyclables would go to the current transfer station, which is another $100,000. So the total is $295,000. Again, you still have to add the cost of disposal on that.
I like option 1.
I like option 0.
So just considerations, the current Packer is 26 years old. Year-to-date repair costs is almost $10,000. Rear brakes, some broken springs, check engine light, so on and so forth. If we did go with a compactor, we would have to either contract with someone to take the compactor containers and transport them to a waste facility, or if we bought one, a new one is $225,000, and a used, I found one, it was a 2020 for $145,000.
You mean a roll-off truck?
Yeah, a roll-off truck.
I would say that as long as we continue to tip the trash 6 miles away, it makes absolutely no sense to put in a compactor. That transporting it there in the Packer truck, which probably puts 24 miles a week on the truck, keep fixing it. And if I remember correctly, Ken, the contract with Wheelbrainer gives a 2-year notice if they're going to discontinue operations, so you have time to figure out a compactor if they give you notice that they're going to discontinue it. Because the roll-off truck and the compactor make a lot of sense if we have to haul our trash to Rochester. Or Bethlehem, absolutely, because you couldn't do that in a little bitty Packer truck. But I would keep fixing the Packer truck. And I would look at the expense of running the Packer over the years, right? Because, okay, it needed brakes this time around, but it's not like we're going through a set of brakes every year. Those brakes have probably been in there for 15 years. And, municipal pack trucks, the ones that, ones that you see run through the cities and stuff, lots of miles, a fair amount of driver and creature comforts and other things that you really don't need to drive depending on the time. So I think I like to do nothing option at the moment, except fix the equipment and keep going.
Well, there's more to do than just do nothing. If, again, there's rearranging things to better make use of the space. There's the issue of the salt shed, there's the issue of storage, there's an issue for something basic like a bathroom for our workers.
Yeah, these are,
This is
I was
the
gonna say,
other,
this is some capital outlays. There are some options or some considerations in the report that talk about storage of recyclables, and he said there is space to put a well up there and a septic system if we wanted to put a bathroom and water up there. There is space, so.
Would it be safe to drink from?
Pardon me?
Would it be safe to drink from?
it's upstream of the,
So what they're looking at is the well would be in the package. There's a couple of diagrams in here that show current and then potential locations of either new buildings, additions, storage areas, a water well, and a septic. So those are part of the report.
The salt shed conversation isn't really a transfer or solid waste function, that's a highway department function, and that salt shed is been looking a little thin for a while. But you guys pretty much determined that you couldn't move the salt shed to the municipal complex unless we acquired some additional land?
That was, the only place you could put it
opinion.
would be, I guess there's two locations that you could put it. They're both right out front. And the thought, at least from Aries' perspective was the town want a salt shed right out front in the historic district? And the answer is probably no. And the only other option would be buy some more property behind it and put the salt shed out there. So.
But there was room, if they were creative about it, to fit it in the space that we have without finding additional.
Yeah, and that was, they said that there is space on the present site where you could move the salt shed.
On the transfer station.
On the transfer station site, yeah. Yeah, you could build a new one somewhere else. And they did recommend, instead of using the salt shed for storage of recyclables, that the cost of containers, we have one container up there, and maybe it's time to look at, we have 4 or 5 old trailer bodies up there, and maybe it's time to look at replacing those with new containers and using them instead of the trailer bodies and stuff for recyclables, storage recyclables.
I mean, the rest of the report has a lot more information about how they might possibly use this space, so. And if there isn't, again, if we don't decide to go with a new packer, they're not gonna build a pad and have that be a whole separate thing. There's that space too, but I think that's a much larger discussion.
I think in my mind, the purpose of trying to flesh this out a little bit tonight was, kind of goes along with the CIP. If the intent is to purchase a compactor in the future and do that, then maybe it's time to establish a cap reserve account, or we have a cap reserve account for transfer station improvements, and should we start putting more money into that to fund a larger project somewhere down the road? And do we look at starting a cap reserve fund for a new packer truck? I think these are some of the questions that we're looking at.
it never hurts to put something away. You have to look at how it fits in the context of the other expenditures. We're still picking up a nice benefit on the tax rate on the utility.
We haven't gotten any notice of abatement yet, so.
They have until April 1.
Yes.
So you may, when you set the tax rate, want to put a small overlay on. And so if it's not, it should be broadly known among this group, right? That all of those wonderful new power lines that have gone up are going to add a significant amount to the assessed value of the town. And I forgot what Mandy's estimate was, but it was worth a couple bucks.
It was, yeah, just under 700, I think.
So, when are we reballing?
Next year.
Next year, yeah.
Yeah, so her overview, the valuation, the 2024 valuation for Eversource was $6,456,000, and the 25 valuation is $35,314,000. So an increase of $28 million. It increases the total town valuation by about $32 million. If everything is the same, the tax rate could be at right around $22.68 with municipal, county, local, state. So that's what the impact is of that.
I wouldn't count it with things.
We did hire an assessor for this utility reval, and if there's any
Yeah, that was money well spent.
abatement requests, then he would be with us.
Still defended.
Yeah. But all of that information came directly from Eversource. So basically it was putting the numbers together, more or less. So it's all their figures. So I'm not sure how they could argue it.
You'll just pay your delivery. So you'll just pay your delivery charges.
So regardless.
So can I ask a question? So this is Bob. What would happen if we just kept the compactor, the truck that we have, and did something for providing a bathroom, water, and a place for the employees to be warm, and just settle with that? And because we should think about the employees and what they don't have right now, and could we just get along with taking care of them and keeping the truck, nursing that along?
Well, that was one of their options, right? Yeah.
Well, that is obviously an option. Again,
Does it make any sense?
we have recommendations of where we could put a well and a septic up there, so that, certainly be an associated cost, but it can be done.
Well, my question, you were asking about putting money aside for a compactor if we're going to do that, but if so, say we go with that route, where do we have to establish a CIP, not a CIP, a capital reserve account for future renovations, or is that already existing?
We do have one for improvements.
Yeah. That's the one that we've got. You know the number better than I. So we should start funding that, if nothing else.
But we give you what we have.
The bathroom is pretty low hanging fruit.
If you're putting in a well and
Let
septic,
me ask you this, are we asking for the bathroom or are the guys who work there asking for it? 'Cause
No,
you've been
they are
down
not.
this road
I think it's
before,
a
right?
pretty low bar
We also
to
get
give
some-
our employees.
They have those really nice portable, I kid you not, portable.
No, I know, you
for
can
the
get-
work situations.
You can get
You
a,
walk inside, and you go up step, it's inside, it has water tank, it runs water, it's just a nice
Absolutely.
bathroom, it doesn't have, we don't need to do a well and a septic for it.
we don't, but a bathroom facility that's up
But you
there.
could get a better one.
So
Run like a travel.
whatever that takes.
we have a transfer station upgrade capital reserve, and there's $7,000 in it.
Okay, that's it.
That's not gonna do it.
Not gonna do it, but,
Uh,
but if you wanted to put some more money aside, you could
Yeah.
use that.
You might think of it in 2 stages, because there's nothing that says you couldn't put in a tight tank. Because you're simply, if you're not, it's gonna take a long time to fill a 1,500 gallon septic tank.
Yeah.
With water, based on 3 guys doing part-time work. No one's doing any laundry, no one's washing dishes. So
Whatever
then
it
the
is.
cost would be a well and a facility.
You just say 3 guys. Might not be guys.
Okay,
3 people.
3 people. Right now it's 3 people.
Guys in the general sense, like use guys.
3 people.
Yeah.
But 3 people aren't living there, right? It's not, the water use, it would take a long time to fill.
The occasional member of the public might want to use it too.
Yeah.
If it was an emergency.
But still, it's a tiny fraction of what a household would experience.
Well, absolutely.
And
So if we
just-
say a bathroom is important, then whatever it costs to do it reasonably and maybe,
I think you give
Sorry,
them,
Kelly.
I think you give them a nice porta john and you call it a day. That would be me. I don't think the bathroom is important. It hasn't been important for 40, 50 years.
One of the things that I did investigate is they have office trailers with bathrooms with water supply and a holding tank.
Yep.
I couldn't get prices on those, but they do have those. I can't imagine they're too much money. I mean, in the grand scheme of things.
So those of us who do construction know that that has been another private equity consolidation, is the delivery and the rental of those types of construction trailers. So where there used to be like 7 or 8 companies across the country that did it, now there's 2.
I just
So
wanted to
price is probably higher.
I wanted to just make sure I understand this correctly, that that last option of potentially building a new building that would be office space and bathroom, and recycling storage, so that the salt shed can remain the salt shed as it is, that is not in any way reflected in any of these price options, right?
Correct.
Where do you put the ballroom?
Hey, it's been a long time since we had Dance at the Dump. We could revive.
looking at those pictures the other day.
Dance at the Dump.
Do it as a fundraiser.
We did it. We did it as a fundraiser before, and we made tens of dollars.
Yes, anyway.
Wouldn't it be the cheapest way is just fix the truck and limp along?
Always the cheapest way, Bob.
That's my vote, Bob.
Well, if Bob thinks that, I think that because we're both Bobs.
Oh, thanks. Oh,
Yeah, the Bobs twins.
we're both Bobs.
Don't put that in the record.
Too much.
Too late, Bob.
But you can get what you used to spend on the house, you can spend on an office trailer. You might be able to buy a used one.
I did have prices for those a while back. But
Is
can I find it now? No.
Yeah, is there anything in the operating budget lines that you want us to think about or prep us for? I guess we're gonna come back. to
The only thing in the operating budget that I know of for sure is the police department feels that they are going to, the only increase that they're looking at is wages. They're looking at improvement in retention, so they're looking at a potential step system for wages to more or less guarantee some kind of wage increase or you know, when you come on board, you know where you're gonna be in 5 years. Where there's a step increase, and then obviously there'd be potential for COLAs or something like that. But that was what they said. The library has come in with their budget with some significant wage increases. However, they're offsetting it with money from their trustees. So we'll be sending that out soon.
How does that work? If the trustees are supplementing wages, what happens if in like a future year they don't do that? Is the town on the hook to pay those wages?
I would think there needs to be some kind of guarantee of how often they would want to do that.
The town has no, I guess, no, at the time, the town would say, well, this is what we're funding for tax dollars, and just because you're making $30 an hour today, tomorrow you may be making $15 because the trustees decided not to fund wages. I mean, that's the potential.
Could they treat it as like a one-time bonus so that we don't have to actually increase their wages? Sorry.
I'm not completely sure. The one thing that we learned with bonuses is there are tax implications. So I think that would have to be determined. I think the selectmen and you guys, when you get the budget, are gonna have to look at it and make a decision on how to proceed.
I mean, it's a bottom line budget. The town doesn't control how it gets spent. We just control the amount of money that the library gets, and then it's up to the library trustees. So the control that the town has is to say, here's your budget, do what you want with it. If you want to spend more on wages and less on something else, that's up to them. But I think, yeah, my concern, maybe aligned perhaps with what your comment was, Randy, is, you know, large wage increases to me obviously elevate the floor for all wages and all future wage increases. So if you have a big jump, you really have to look at it. And then you have to look at how many employees the library has, how many do they need. And, you know, we fund our library really, really well compared to most towns our size. And we have a very nice library. And it gets the support of the townspeople. But, you know, we frequently have this discussion with the library trustees and the director, and it usually come back reasonably.
I remember years ago, well, I didn't know you were on the board, Priscilla, Frank, and I was Mike, that the library took care of all their own bills, their whole employees, their payroll and everything. I wouldn't be opposed to going back to that. Do you remember that?
I remember when we used to do it, and I remember when we changed it because the accountancy became a real challenge, and the accountability, and using the town's payroll system, because it doesn't cost the town a lot of money to process, but it does mean that we have a better accuracy reporting. Because I don't know that you save any money like that.
They'd be responsible for all of that.
They would,
But I think it wouldn't be as, I think as far as the wages, it wouldn't be as ill-willed, where the library's getting 7% and these guys might get 3%.
Yeah, you still can't, I don't see how having them pay their own bills makes a difference, because you can just establish the budget is X, you can make it flat for last year, here's the budget. You, library trustees, can spend it as you see fit, because they can.
Jen, are you suggesting the library actually pay all their own wages too?
They
Like
used
out
to.
of the trust?
No, they'd have a budget and the town
Oh, I
would
see.
give them like quarterly.
Okay, here's your money, you
do your own
do it.
payroll taxes, your own firemen, your own everything.
I do remember. We also remember that we had 1.5 library employees.
Yeah, it seems like that would create a second, I mean, I see your point, but also that there's administrative costs for doing all that and doing it properly and.
But there is for the town too, that they're not paying for, the town's paying.
Right, but setting up 2 parallel systems is always more expensive than having one system doing everything. So on a net basis, like in terms of what people in the town end up paying for, if what Bob is saying is accurate, then the town decides how much we're gonna allocate to the library, and then the library trustees can decide how to spread that across their budget along with what they can allocate. It doesn't make a financial difference to the taxpayer.
No, but I just think it's better for the employees not to see somebody getting a 6% raise and we're only getting 3, and
Well, that's
I
a
don't-
different
I don't-
question. I don't know. I mean, I don't remember those days. It would have to be transparent, right? The library is still a public entity using public funds, so they have to publish how they're spending their money, don't they? Maybe not.
I don't know, they're a whole different animal, I don't.
Oh, I know, but there aren't very many parts of the government, even independently, that just don't get to report, right?
We may not have a say in how they spend it, but we
I'm
know
saying how
what
to
it
spend
is.
it, but we wanna know how they do it.
Yeah,
They might have to do a separate annual report and show their budget and their actions and.
I don't know how that would work, but I'll bet that's it, yeah. I don't know.
I don't know, I just think that their wages are out of control compared to everybody else's wages. I don't think it's fair.
Do we have a comparison of like wages and historical raises for like the past couple of years by department?
and Rachel has a very clear
So,
comparison of other
Yeah.
libraries ourselves, like towns.
Well, no, I meant like
Sorry.
within the town, so like highway, police, fire, like all those people, so let's say, you know, some
We have-
departments are doing like,
we have wage scales dating back several years. We've done comparisons of,
I meant
I-
more
I-
like, you know, in 2025, library was this percent.
Yep.
Highway was this
Yep.
percent. In
we
2024, library
can,
was.
sure, we can do that. I've hesitated to try and single out departments that way, but we can certainly do that.
Well, to this lady's point, like if everyone else is coming in
Mhm.
really low and some departments are coming in higher,
That,
that's not good for
yeah, I think
morale.
Right.
I think the last few years, the library has done some spot increases for particular employees. I think they've tried to stay close to what the other town employees are getting, but there have been some fairly significant spot increases in places. I know they increased their hours for some of their staff so they could receive benefits, but so have other departments. So, one thing that we do have, that we did get, the library sent us a comparison with all the libraries in the state, or it's a Excel spreadsheet that shows what the operating expenses are, what directors are paid, how many hours they work, employees, things like that, and it's a wage survey basically for all the libraries in the state, and the ones that reported.
How does Canterbury compare to like Dunbar?
I put together, I started to put together a comparison using the towns that we have historically used in our wage comparisons. I haven't quite finished it yet.
Okay.
So once that gets done, trying to get all this stuff ready for the 1st of December, so you guys can have all of that. So getting all that information together, and we'll send it out to you guys.
It's hard then to compare, you know, like the library wages versus the police force or something, if percentage-wise, if they've got a trust that's willing to kick in and give them the money that they think that their employees deserve. So that's a, you know, we don't have that option. So that's another thing to look at, but you know, to Randy's point, I'd want to know how long the trustees would want to kick in.
I spoke to Rachel about it, and she said the trustees would cover the raise indefinitely. Now, I don't know how long you can manage that.
Yeah, well,
Don't you eventually?
I want that in writing, and indefinitely is a long time.
I know it is, but
Depends on how they have the trust invested.
But it also doesn't matter if we only say we're going to fund X amount, correct?
But no one wants to like take money away in future years, that.
Well, that would be on the trustees, not on
Yeah.
us.
That's hard to explain to people.
So the trustee
Yes,
funds
it
are
is.
completely separate from town funds, right?
Yeah.
So it's operated on its own entity, everything is separate, so shouldn't we try and keep
So
separate?
if you look at the town report, the library's budget is separated into two sections. One is trust funds and one is tax dollars.
Thank you.
They both appear in the report because it's transparency, right? We have to disclose
So the
what
trust
what
is
has
not
been
listed
spent
in the
on.
report.
But the trust is listed in the town report as an expense, but then it's a revenue offset.
No, but I mean, what's in the trust is not.
We don't have that.
No, but other towns do.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you would have to
So the
ask.
trustees of the trust funds do not invest the library trust.
Right.
The library
That's
trustees
separate.
invest that separately. They're not subject to the same constraint as
Correct.
the municipal funds. So their return on their investment has historically been higher than the public investment pool. So they've been able to sustain a principal balance over the years. But
Right.
we don't have, we the town don't have access to that information. We do when we report budgets and expenditures, line item out what they're spending.
I'm just curious why it's never the amount of the trust where
But
other
it is
trusts are.
but it is a revenue offset.
Yeah.
So, meaning when we put it in the budget, you know, we're voting appropriations on the bottom line for that. And we're, you know, trusting the trustees to be trusted and give us the money, which they would, of course. You know, the other thing I think from an employee parity, there's always a component of parity and making sure you try to treat all the people the same, and then there's the market demand component, right, for what skill level, what is the skill set, and who does it. So for police officers and transfer station employees, you know, there's a different skill set, there's a different market price. So there's a component of that. It's also about 8% of the total town budget is the library, including the trust fund. So, you know, let's not over.
No.
Let's not, we're not gonna solve the tax problem on that, but we do have to have a reasonable approach. And I think last year you guys asked the library trustees to have a hard look at what they were spending and, you know, try to align their wage structure with what the town was doing, and I think they largely did.
They didn't change their wages though. They went through their budget and, you know, cut some things
Yeah.
and found, you know, whatever.
They brought their budget
Yes.
into line.
Yes,
with
but it
their-
wasn't on the back of the wages.
Yeah, again, they up to them, but, you know, they did bring their budget kind of in line with the rest of the town's increase or the desire for the
Yeah.
budget to be as flat as possible.
So we just need to encourage a lot of residents to create trust funds for their favorite town department, the fire department trust fund, the police department trust fund.
Right.
The library did, below the COLA 4% increases last year.
What's COLA this year, 2.8?
We just have a
2.9?
4% raise. Placeholder.
Yeah, the CPI is running around 3.5%. So I think, you know, looking at that, we typically, you know, wages align with the CPI, the wage increases. We'll have
So
they'll
it's
give them,
3.4?
yeah, and we'll have the final, I think that was as of September. They're about a month or so behind on their reporting, so hopefully in December I'll have the latest on that and have some ideas on changes.
And the police officer, you said we've had an open position for a year. And then I think I keep seeing highway department open positions, so this must be very in demand.
So that, speaking of wages, I know that you said Chief Crowley is speaking, you know, doing a wage package, so to help him get new officers and to retain officers. Do we expect the same from the highway department? To try and, I mean, we offered the, you know, the CDL licensing program, but, you know, both our young men who have done that are, that hasn't necessarily helped retain people. So is a wage increase going to come down, to be offered,
So
considered, I should say?
I will do a wage survey in surrounding towns. We typically look at Andover, Chichester, Canterbury, Dunbarton, New Hampton, and Webster. Those are the towns that I've looked at in the past. Their population, their operating budget, and their median income is similar to what Canterbury is.
What would
You're
those
never gonna be
be?
able to do apples to apples, but it'll be close. So, I think, that's what I've been, those are the towns I've been working with the past 5 or 6 years, and we may drop a town, we may pick up a different town. I try and look at the latest demographics and try and keep it as close to Canterbury as possible.
Ken, could you humor me and just give me those towns again?
Andover?
Yeah.
Chichester?
Yeah.
Canterbury?
Yeah.
Dunbarton?
Yeah.
New Hampton?
New Hampshire.
And Webster.
Thank you.
Cal, the packet you sent us all last week, that 2026 budget, that super Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody got that?
Yes, and that does have wages by person in there.
So my question is then, when you look at the proposed, I don't even know which one it's under, real quick, we zoom back out. I think it's under the tax rate collector tab.
Yeah,
The proposed tax rate for next year is higher than what we said earlier. On this one, it says 24, 25, where I think Ken said 22-ish.
sorry, can you say that again? On
Okay.
which tab?
The tax rate calculator?
Tax
The
rate
tax rate
calculator.
calculator, yeah.
On that spreadsheet, I just want to make sure I'm reading it right. It's saying the proposed tax rate for 2025, effective fall and spring, is 24, 25. Is that accurate, or is that not
No.
including?
That's not including county or town. Those ones aren't finalized.
Okay.
Those have the yellow on them.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to figure that out, how it was just, the number was $2 different, and I didn't know if that's gonna put a crunch on decisions down the road, or if that's just a completely loose number right now.
That's a completely loose number.
Okay.
We should have a tax rate hopefully in the next 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
And you guys met with the school district, right? Any
Yeah.
surprises? They have a big buyout, don't they, on the health care?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
the
and certainly I wouldn't call that a surprise.
No, we've known about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, that was.
it was unbudgeted though.
Correct, yeah, that's.
They are looking at a capital.
If I could,
Oh, go ahead, Bob.
if I could, I might be testing your patience, but when I was looking at this whole package regarding the analysis by Aries, it was assumed that there was going to be a compactor options versus keeping just the compactor truck. And I kind of thought, well, gee, I guess if I were looking at the options, I'd like option 2 if we were going to go with the compactor route. But if we go back to the discussion that we've had tonight, it seems like maybe saving, just keeping the truck that we have. However, there's the salt issue, there's the issue of flow of traffic through the station and how things are handled relative to recyclables and everything. And I wonder, first of all, what did the dump committee recommend? And I thought that we were going to have a meeting of people to a working committee for dump things. I have it on my calendar as something that was going to happen, that would review what would have been developed. So, is there a review by the dump committee? Other recommendations? Is there a working committee for the dump? Is it just up to this group and the selectmen? How is this working?
So Bob, there is no more solid waste committee, I think that's what you're referring.
Yeah, I mean, yes, that's okay.
Yeah, so yes, one of the reasons why we wanted to meet with the budget committee early was to
Yeah.
get people thinking about the transfer station.
Right. Okay, so, but that this is not the end, then I imagine you're going to go on to another set of steps?
Correct. So as you mentioned, we've got many things to look at.
Yeah?
So, so tonight really was just kind of a, a chance to look at these options together and discuss them. So we haven't had a discussion really since we got the report outside of the select board.
Will there be a committee, is my calendar incorrect? A committee for discussing the dump, or is this or the selectmen the committee?
When do you have it on your calendar, Bob?
For 7 PM for November 5th. At our last meeting, the budget committee, that's what I put down as when we would have to get together to begin to talk about this.
No, I'm not aware of any meeting.
I think that's tonight.
Well, you know what, at the nursing home, they sometimes think I hallucinate, so.
You're not hallucinating, Bob.
I just think you're ahead of schedule, Bob. I think that was tonight's meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Behind schedule.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would think, yes, to answer your question, Bob, it all needs to be looked at again and picked through. If you see the budget committee and everybody seems to be leaning towards the least expensive option, see how much we can get for that. And there are other questions that were included in that report that isn't part of this very short summary. So
Right.
I think
But
that
it is all
will need
connected.
to be looked at, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's been a good first discussion.
What else?
That's all I have for Aries and
Wages and healthcare. When did you say that they might set their, will we know more price actual numbers?
10,
Next month.
and we're hoping to get numbers from CGI.
Anything else from the budget committee?
Or the peanut gallery?
So we'll see you all December
First.
1st. 5:30, Cal?
I do see, thank you for pointing out the wage scale, so I can calculate percentages, so you don't need to get that one.
And you'll be receiving stuff from us that we promised you tonight. so-
Yes. Yep.
And Randy, I can send you the massive spreadsheets that I made in the past couple of years, you can compare.
So budget committee is December.
Yes.
5:30?
December 1st is our
Yeah.
next meeting?
5:30, Cal?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, Molly.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. It's not gonna be a season of easy.
Thank you.
No, well, it can't be as bad as last week. But I should probably never say that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yes, you can.
I agree with her, very should be.
Just remember, no one wants to select first-hand cruise yet.
Thank you, Bob.
You all have one for reason.
Yeah, there's nothing town hall anymore.
We're still meeting, right?
We are.
One second.
I'll call you tonight.
I will call you and also just don't make use of the sound. Video of it. I I may not be.
Thank It's on camera, his
That's true.
That's true. Good night, all.
All right,
Good
thank you, Kelly.
Thanks, Kelly.
Kelly, did you get that email that I sent you?
Yeah.
Give me a slightly bigger.
Sorry.
Slightly bigger,
About,
slightly bigger clue.
the property.
The reliefs.
I saw that it was there and I didn't read it.
Okay.
Oh, thank you
Could,
for reminding
could
me.
you check on it when
Okay,
you get a chance?
yes,
Thank you.
all right,
Any questions, just let me know.
okay.
Thank you.
If I was really mean, I could say you could sit right down and check it.
All right, what do you want to do next?
We have, House Bill 639.
Yep,
That was, is it in the paper?
That was, the example letter that they sent,
yes.
I put that.
Do we have this and this stuff we already have, or?
No, there's only one copy
Okay.
and it's in the new business folder. Yeah.
Cryptocurrency.
This is relative to, this was sent to us by the Conservation Commission.
Oh, yeah.
Relative to, they call it cryptocurrency, the data mining centers, basically large data centers that that are not eco-friendly.
Okay.
Well, and they're a huge energy suck, aren't they?
Again, they're not
Yeah,
eco-friendly.
yeah. Well, not energy friendly, yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
planning board has had this on there.
Yes,
There's been some
yes.
discussions that I recall.
It was on the agenda for last meeting, but
Yeah.
there wasn't, they
It
didn't
got
get to
bumped
it.
because
So
of that.
tomorrow night, they might get to it.
Yeah. We'll see.
So what was the other, is this the same letter you sent to Kelly where, no, that Kelly sent to us?
Kelly sent this to Conservation Commission, sent it to the Selectmen, to the Planning Board.
I just
asking-
wanted to see if this
Nope,
is the same.
not that.
asking
For recycling.
if you guys would mind signing on to a letter to the state reps opposing the construction of these.
Right, okay.
I'm certainly in favor of a letter and of signing.
But there was also, what's the other thing I was thinking of? Sorry, to be slightly brain dead.
Are you thinking of the other House bill that?
Yes, the other House bill that the Conservation Commission just weighed in on. They said absolutely, where is it?
Blockchain dispute bracket. I don't get the crypto.
Blockchain is the technology used to create crypto. That helps.
So if you. I
You don't need to
can
understand
check
it.
my.
You don't need to-
You don't need to understand it.
It, like I say, basically,
It's bad.
they're looking at large buildings that are housing supercomputers that use a lot of energy. And
Water
and
for cooling.
water for cooling, electricity, things like that, that are, again, not eco-friendly is probably a general way of talking about it.
So this would probably fall in line with the planning board's,
Zoning,
on, data centers.
Correct.
correct, data centers.
That's it.
Yeah, the other one that uses a lot of energy and is really big.
Because that's,
It's essentially the same thing.
Yep.
The same thing.
So is this the same one that, so this is, I found the thing from Kelly that the bill prohibits the state and towns from establishing any future guardrails for noise, water, and energy. Is
Mhm.
that
Yes,
this?
yes.
Oh, yeah, then, done.
Okay.
I agree with that.
So-
It sounded different than what I'm reading here, so,
We have we could draft a letter
yeah.
for you guys to sign at the next meeting,
Okay.
and we'll send it to the state reps.
I think that's all
Yes.
in agreement?
Yeah.
Okay, we're all agreed. All right.
Easy.
Talked about the operations plan, we talked about the streetlights. I think I briefly touched on the highway department and transfer station vacancies. The highway department, John will be the only employee as of Thursday. I did have an interview today. It was, hopefully we can onboard this person, things work out. We did get a letter of resignation from Mr. Romero up at the transfer station. He will be done at the end of the year.
Which
So
you told us.
he had more or less said that, but we did finally get a letter.
Yeah.
So that would leave us with just the transfer station manager.
Yeah.
So we are advertising. I don't know what else to do.
What should be our staff at the highway department? Is
Road
3 enough?
agent, road agent, and 3 full-time employees.
3.
Staff of 4.
Wow, okay.
And then we have 5 plow routes, so we bring on a
Right.
seasonal person in the winter to plow.
So with the dump, how many are they supposed to have?
A minimum of 2. We, full staff is 3.
And we haven't been full staff in
sustained
full staff.
We were temporarily.
Well, we had temporary help. Well, we had one employee up there that was helping out, throughout the summer and part of fall.
Now, is there an age requirement to work there? 18 or because of the equipment?
So our property liability carrier, Primex, does allow for people under 18 to work for the town. However, they have quite a few suggestions on what they can do and what they can't do for liability issues.
So how
They-
helpful does that make them if they?
Well, I mean, I think they suggest hiring over 18, but there are exceptions. Like we were hiring a seasonal person to mow, and they were under the age of 18, so which is okay.
Well,
I'm not sure handling the equipment that they handle up at the transfer station. Primex might say that's probably not a good idea.
Because I'm just curious to, obviously with the Aries report and the future of the dump and the issues we've had with staffing pretty much for the last 4 to 5 years overall, would that have any impact in how we think long-term about the dump situation? Does that make it a more viable option to look at a trash pickup if we can't staff?
I think everything's on the table.
Well, it seems, I mean, I think there's a lot of creative ways we can start thinking about it. Like, I mean, David works how many days for us and now he's, moonlighting as it were over at Deerfield. Are there any number of people that can we reach Dunbarton, Andover, Chichester, people that are similar in size to us? Are their dumps open different day? I mean, Saturday's pretty common, but is there a way that we can share staff so that, it's attractive for somebody to be working for 2 towns instead of just.
It's just a long way to commute for, what is it, 20, 22 bucks an hour, something like that? I think
Well,
that's-
from Webster, yeah, but from Chichester? People drive to Boston every day yes, they drive for big jobs, but you know what I mean? I mean, is there a way that we can creatively share people, like we share, equipment to?
I don't know, in the back of my mind, I'm just seeing how hard it is to retain it. And I mean, police are having a hard time, we're having a hard time with the highway, and now that we've got the, transfer
Yeah.
station, does that weigh in a factor of, I think Randy brought it up, do we contact a shaver? Maybe we can get some relief by having, I don't know, I just think that we're gonna have to start getting a little bit more creative, because it's very apparent it is extremely difficult to hire anybody, any position right now, and I would hate to put that all on David. Hey David, you gotta be here 3 days a week, you gotta run the recycling, the compact, that's a lot for one
Which
person.
he's I think he's doing.
But now we can't pull from the
Right.
highway department because it's only John, so it's not like we can pull some temporary
No,
relief from
no.
them either, like we used to do.
I think we're going to have to get creative across the board.
Or
And
we're
one
gonna
of
have to
them-
start working at the dump with them.
Yeah, well,
I mean, there's gotta be something because you're coming up on busy season. This is the holidays, there's a lot more trash, a lot more people. I mean,
well, we got 2 until the end of the year, but I think you're right. But, and again, what is the factor? Is it just wages? Because that doesn't necessarily seem to be it. you know, how hard is everybody having to find people and what are they doing? And I can't see having, you know, trash pickup in town, it's just, you know, you're gonna have little old ladies down the end of a long driveway, you gotta haul it to the,
Oh, look at me, I
Get
live on a
the-
class 6 road, I don't wanna drive my bins a quarter mile up.
I know, so, you know,
It's
Anyway,
just,
I
what's
think-
the resolution? I mean, we're gonna have to, I think, get a little bit more creative than just putting wanted ads out and hoping that something catches. You know, and I really think that's gonna have a big impact on how we view the Aries summary and what our long-term investments there should be. You know, I'm not saying let's go build a new dump somewhere, but maybe that trash pickup option or something becomes
well, you know,
Turn around the
what,
table.
what did they not even bid on because we're too small?
them running it.
Yeah.
But they bid on pickup and it was actually pretty comparable operating costs. If you take pickup and you run it against wages, disposal and everything else, you're almost in the ballpark. So it's, I don't want to put anybody out of a job, but if we're having an issue hiring, maybe that's something we have to long and hard think about. Not necessarily this year, but
Yeah,
maybe we work towards that in a 5-year plan.
well, it certainly doesn't encourage to build a whole new station if you can't staff it, at least,
No, but it's
that's one factor.
It's
One of
just how do
several,
you
but-
solve that issue when there's constant revolving doors of labor, and it's not just the transfer station, it's not just the highway, it's not just Canterbury,
No,
you know?
The town of Allenstown last year, a year ago, had their own municipal pickup. Well, they contracted with a company. That contract, the company was gonna increase prices significantly. And the town decided that they could not afford that. So they stopped. They did not contract that company. They did not contract with anybody. They closed their transfer station and they sent letters out to all the residents. Here are 3 private contractors you can call if you want trash pickup.
well, that's
Or you
it,
can, the
yeah,
other option, the only other option was the residents could bring their trash to Concord, to the transfer station in Concord.
Which
But-
some Canterbury people do.
oh,
I mean,
yeah,
I use private pickup just for convenience in life with my schedule. It's easier to just have them come pick it up
Yeah.
on Friday.
yeah, but you miss everything that's going on at the
I
dump.
think that was a fairly dramatic, shift of, you had curbside pickup and all of a sudden you didn't have anything.
But I think, you know, we've seen several towns around that, you know, you get into a deal with a company and yeah, okay, that's fine, you don't have the employee, and then you're over a barrel for them. They triple their prices or
Oh,
they
for sure.
whatever. So at least if we can find a way to find the people, it's still under our control. It's finding the people that there's a rub, and I still think part of it's housing and part of it's wages. And, you know, I don't know if it's a changing attitude about working at a transfer station, but there's gotta be a way to find the people.
It's the trickle down effect, right? You offer more wages, your taxes go up. Is it, you know, where do you play the game, I guess, or what's the most financially responsible thing to do?
But actually, this does beg the question, do we need a dedicated group to look at hiring in town, across the board? Not just having police look at police and fire look at fire, but how do we make Canterbury a place to hire our municipal employees? Not like
Using a temp agency to staff, or having somebody come in and advertise and market for us?
towns do.
I just think it all boils down to cost. That's the tricky part, you know?
Yeah, but you can't
What
even
does it
seem to
cost?
pay them. I don't know.
The town has used municipal resources in the past, MRI,
Yeah.
to recruit department heads. But that was police chief,
Yeah.
fire chief, town administrator. We use them for those positions, but not for other employees. I don't know what the cost would be if we contacted them to see what the town could do to increase staffing.
Well, and the temp, I don't know if you meant temp agencies, like, who's the group that we've used in the past to,
People ready.
I keep
Yeah.
going to call them free, the people ready. And that was hit or miss.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna ask about the ages because how many high school kids live in this town? You go work 8 hours at the dump on Saturday unloading cars. If you're not running the compactor, that would allow David to focus more on running the machinery and the stuff that's more liability issues. You know, can we have a temporary fix? You know, if I had to work 4 minutes from my house when I was 16, it's not a bad gig in town. You know, mom and dad don't have to drop you off far, you know you're safe and you're there. But can we rely on teenage help? I don't know. I just feel like we have to broaden our horizon. That helped us with mowing, you know, being able to hire a teenager.
Yeah, yeah.
Heard a little bit when I went to college, but it was a temporary stopgap. You know, can we market more to that? I don't know. I don't know if many kids are eager to throw trash bags out of cars into the back of the compactor.
Well, it depends on what they're getting and what they want to spend it on, so as you say.
But again, how do you stay competitive with the wages? That's the tricky part, you know.
How competitive do you have to be for a high school student, you know?
Well, I can
It's
make
not-
$21 an hour putting burgers at McDonald's at 16.
I went to Dunkin' Donuts this afternoon at exit 18, or exit 17.
Yeah.
At 3:30. They were closed because they were short-staffed.
Yeah.
I mean, baggers at Market Basket make $14.75 an hour to bag groceries. That's warm, it's nice, you know, like, when you want to compensate somebody for different style of work, you're exposed, like, it's tricky.
Yeah,
teenagers
no,
making money.
I know, but there's gotta be teenagers out there that can't get to Market Basket, don't wanna wear the uniform, don't wanna cut their hair, don't wanna whatever
Sold them there.
to work there, so, you know,
I
anyway,
just
that's,
think maybe that's an angle, maybe we try to get some kids in town to help, maybe that's an option.
so what I'm thinking is, do we need a separate group to sit and noodle this over and come up with a plan? Or do we just kind of keep talking about it and saying we really should do something, and we've got David and John running the highways department and transfer station? How do we actually tackle it?
Well, I guess I'm not sure what a group would offer. Who would the group be comprised of?
Well, there's always that. Yeah, it's hard enough finding transfer station employees trying to put a group together. So, it's
Maybe we
another.
can ask David, would he be open to teenage help, and maybe if he says, yeah, I'd be okay with a responsible kid, maybe we can try to advertise for that.
Well, you know, you bring up an interesting point. Has anybody ever asked David to find somebody you would want to work with? I mean, we had the issue where John brought a candidate that he thought he could make a deal with. You know, have we ever talked with David about the same? You know, he's over in Franklin a lot. Is there people that he knows there? Is that good, bad, and different? I don't know.
I have never spoken to him directly about that, so we could.
I mean, if we can't get 3, can we get 2 and compensate the next one a little bit better? You know, if we're only gonna live with 2, can we find a way to make it better for David and the other employee?
Yeah.
I mean, we're grasping at straws at this point, and
Well, now he's got, you know, a wider range. He's over in Deerfield, and he's up in Franklin a lot, so that's 2 other towns to pull from. He might have some ideas.
Yeah.
Thank you. But I think we all come up with a couple of ideas of how we actually find a track.
Right. Well, I
Like
guess
housing. I wish we could offer housing, but that's not gonna happen.
you want a roommate?
I've got one, thank you. I've got one.
All right, what else we got?
We need to go into an executive session,
All right,
discuss a personnel.
okay. So I'll make a motion